What's up, you guys? My name is Hutch, and I make videos and put them on the internet. And I have to kind of carefully work with the sunlight going on. It's because it's just this exceptionally beautiful sunset that's happening behind me right now. And unfortunately, some of the plentiful and beautiful light rays are seeping into my set, as it were. Not that this is a set, but so it's Friday, and today's usually the days that I do a So Your video, and I don't feel like doing it today, so I'm not going to do it. Instead, I'm going to tell you guys, or take this opportunity to say that this week has just been so... You know, it's really hard for me to describe what is happening with me right now, but for whatever reason, I feel the ability to articulate with pride and confidence that I have a moral compass, exactly what's on my mind, with faith that I'm a good person and and that my compass will sort of guide me. That's sort of been the last week, and I call these phases honey badger phase, and you know, I think I'm already getting sidetracked, and I think maybe I wanted to bring that up to you guys because the way that I use that ability to articulate, or this newfound comfort, I guess you would call it, the reason why I bring that up is the way that I chose to use that in the last week was to sort of like tell lots of people to, or invite people to leave if they don't really want to be a part of my life anymore. And I don't regret doing that. I do think there is a time and place to tell people to fuck off. But last night I wrote this really long Facebook post, and it was literally like 13 paragraphs. And I've written shit like that before, and just I've had it come out just be like psychobabble. Like anyone who was unfortunate enough to follow my Tumblr account that I opened like a year and a half ago. Those were just sort of just ramblings of a confused, stoned guy, like in those essays, and or whatever you want to call it, pieces of writing. And I wrote this one last night, and it was coming off of a week where I feel so much closer to Liz, because the process of being a married couple, or quickly transitioning into being a married couple, has been really fun and challenging, but it's been really great this last week. I feel like I'm fucking falling in love all over again, but for totally different reasons. It's great. It's blowing my mind, and it makes me so confident. Like I feel so confident because of that, and like nothing really is. I know that's true. So if I know that I love her and I know that she loves me, that's one thing that I can base like everything else off of. I can take that one little thing. I love this woman, and she loves me, and I can build on that. And I never had that before with her, at least. And having that is different for everybody. Everyone's relationship, like the way that I am with Liz, is a lot different from the way that I've been with ex-girlfriends, and I'm sure the same would apply to her experience with guys. But this whole experience has made me so comfortable. And so I decided to speak from the heart last night, and I wrote this very long piece of writing, attempting to communicate what I've been experiencing lately, which is just a huge amount of relief. And the outpour of support for that was to such a degree that it didn't make me cry, because I'm very particular about when I cry. Like, I love crying, but it only comes in like small waves or big waves, but it only comes in like moments. It's like I'm not inclined to cry a lot, even though I have like lots of intense feelings, because I'm human. But the outpour of support that I got, and the similar stories of personal struggle, and the struggle for self-betterment that can sometimes be torturous to people that actually value being a good person And which isn't to sound judgmental, because I think everybody wants to be good people. Everyone. Even fucking assholes are trying in their own way to be a good person. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of the times the way that we learn to show our support and care for one another is by being kind of mean. And there's a time and a place for that, man. I am all about, when I run into friends that I haven't talked to in a long time, I'm all about, like, playful jabbing. But I guess where I'm getting at is that the comments that I saw in response to my post, which ended up being, like, shared 50 times and had almost 1,000 likes and hundreds of comments, like 300 comments, I think. And I read all of them, responded to a shit ton of them. And I was so blown away by the amount of insight and wisdom that I saw, especially from kids, like 20-year-olds. And I'm sorry to say that, but if you're 20, you're a fucking kid for the most part. I have met, and here's what, that's why I say for the most part, because last night I was scrolling through the comments and reading through some things that people said to me, and they would sometimes say their age at the end or in the beginning. And if they said it at the end, there were a lot of times where I'm like, fucking shit, this guy's 17? He's already smarter than I am. And like, and I don't think I'm particularly like, I don't think I'm a genius. I don't. I think I'm intelligent, and I think I think I'm a champion of like facts. You know, I like understanding the world around me, and I've spent the past 29 years studying people. And so when I started a YouTube channel, you have to understand that, you know, I don't want to do this the rest of my life. I don't. At one point, I am going to want to really drop the mic. Like, when I dropped the mic the first time, I just don't think I was ready. I feel like I have more things that I have to say. Not because I think I'm fucking brilliant, but because I just want to say them. And so this is me saying them. But you guys really blew my mind with the support and intelligence that I saw in the comments. And that's really what I'm looking to transition to, guys. I just can't take the bullshit anymore. I cannot be bothered. I can't, man. And it's like, I was such a part of the problem for like, it's not like a problem in a sense of world hunger, but it is a cultural problem, a dilemma, if you will. Excuse me. I smoke cigarettes, and I feel like smoking a cigarette, and I'm gonna smoke a cigarette. But it's hard for me to remember where I was going with that. So I think I'll just start talking about something else, but sort of related. Okay, I remember what I was talking about now. I could do jump cuts and all that stuff, but I kind of want to leave this raw as is, so you guys, I don't mind you guys seeing me take time to like think, and I hope you don't mistake it for like me being sort of vacuous and daft. But I'm just done with it, man. It's just I and so many others have been like such a part of the and I call it a problem, but really I see it as like a stifle or a stifling, something that stifles progress is what I see it as. And what I'm talking about is like, I think to be a YouTuber, I think you need to be fearless. I think you need to be exactly who you are. I think to a certain degree you have to be unapologetic unless you actually mean it, unless you actually are apologizing and you are wrong, in which case those are never wrong. It's always great to apologize and say, I was wrong. And I'm saying I was wrong for like the last 3 years. You guys might have caught glimpses of something that I said that made you sort of think. And I do think that I'm a thoughtful guy. And I really do love the fact that some of you consider me thought-provoking. And some of you do. It's not arrogance. That's the other thing. I have become self-conscious about my vocabulary, about the things that I know and believe, because I have had so many people tell me online that I'm arrogant, and I believed them. I started to get a complex about it. I'm like, fuck, they're right, man. I'm just trying to sound smart. And the truth couldn't be. Well, no, there have been times for sure where I really was like trying to look cool. Plenty of times like that. Oh my god, like fucking full years like that. Now, like some funny videos came of that, so I don't necessarily view that as like a bad thing or with any degree of regret. I am grateful for that experience, but I am not an arrogant person. I care about almost everyone's life. Almost. Some days I have less patience than other days, but I care about almost everyone, and I treat YouTube the same now as I did when I first started, which was I think I was just looking to make connections. I think I was just lonely. I don't know how to explain it. I think I was. I had just been dumped when I had strep throat over the phone with from a girl that I had been with for a year. And so I just started doing this because it's like, fuck, man, I feel like I have so much shit to say and I don't know where to put it. And it wasn't like a conscious process. But when I bought that capture card and started making videos, and it started as like COD videos. But I think that was my way of saying, I feel kind of lonely. Anyone out there want to listen? And then when I was greeted with hundreds of thousands of you, I think my little brain didn't know what to do with that. And I think the solution that I've come up with that has given me like, I'm trying to not use like and that has given me much more, where was I even going? I got self-conscious about how I sound. I treat YouTube as a means to study people. I was a sociology major in college, and I did not do well, and I dropped out. I have never excelled scholastically. There were some like placement tests early on where it suggested that I had somehow tested in like the top 99th percentile, and I was getting like C's and D's. And the teachers were pulling my parents aside saying like, why is he testing here? Why is he showing us that he knows these things? And the thing is I just don't think I'm scholastically inclined, and I think I'm not the only one. And where I studied, the exams that I took, the midterms that I took, and the homework that I was doing was of a completely different nature, but I was doing work. And I've been taking notes my entire life. How do people work? What do they respond to? What do they respond poorly to? What do I respond poorly to? I think those are equally important questions. Who am I? What is it about me that makes me angry? That's a good question to ask yourself. It's a great question to ask yourself. Go sit down for a cup of coffee, sit outside, ask yourself what makes me angry, and try to remember specific instances of anger, and then really explore where that came from, and you'll blow your own fucking mind. And I swim in that. I do. I don't think I dwell in the abstract too much. I do believe that I operate in a world of truth seeking, and it is hard to find truth in abstract, although it is not impossible. Oftentimes, my biggest moments of clarity came from a very abstract experience that I couldn't quite describe to this day. And YouTube has sort of been like that for me. So someone clicks on a video right now, for example, of mine, right, specifically. And they might look at me and think, who the fuck is this bearded asshole with bags under his eyes? And maybe they subscribed from a Crisis 3 video. You know what I mean? And they just like Crisis 3. And then some asshole shows up in their sub box. So I think like my channel, I have this identity crisis about how to run it, but really my only philosophy right now is I want to do what makes me happy. And if that means on one day I'm making a Crisis 3 video, then that's awesome. And if it means on another day I'm sitting down here and practicing my oratory, or whatever the fuck you call my skills as an orator, to be able to complete sentences and not use jump cuts and not rely on editing so that I give you a specific image of how I want you to see me. This is how I work. This is how I think, and this is how I talk, and this is how I feel, and this is how I express. And I don't think I'm an artist. I don't think I can ever take that seriously, which is it's kind of self-deprecating because I do believe in expression. That's what I love. And I think that expression and art are sort of really linked. And so I think it's kind of a shame that I can't take that seriously, that label. Because some people, my mom tells me, you're an artist. I I've known that from a very young age. You've always cared about people, and you've always wanted to make people feel stuff, whether that be make them laugh or think. But she said that's always been in keeping with my character, and she calls that an artist. And I can't take it seriously. This requires no effort for me. The effort that I made to talk in a manner that I'm speaking right now, which hopefully conveys clarity and conviction, is because I was doing work before. But all this right now is not, it doesn't feel like work. And it's not too difficult for me if I am interested in a topic and I feel personally involved in it. It's really not too interested, or it's, there goes my skills as a work in progress, right? But I forgot what I was going to say, but I think you guys catch the drift. I ramble a lot because I like to ramble, and I don't necessarily like to, I don't know where I'm going to go half the time, and I really like kind of exploring that. And it's unfortunate to me that some folks call that arrogance, because I find it to be so personally fascinating and fun. It is not about, I don't think it's entirely about ego, although I think it's impossible to completely ignore ego. But I think it honestly is more about the pursuit of knowledge and wisdom and the desire to make people feel more at ease, which is something that I can say that I've always felt. And I don't know if I've ever known what to do with it. And I get messages from people a lot that it's really really hard for me to not see it as hyperbolic, because I'll get messages sometimes from people that will describe the impact that I had on them as nothing more than or nothing less than life-changing. And I am so incredibly flattered and humbled when someone says that. But when I do this, it's not necessarily for anyone else. It can be, but this is what I like to do, and it just so happens that some people derive a sense of comfort from the things that I have to say about certain things. Now, if you disagree with my point of view, then I respect that, as long as you can back it up with either facts or indisputable, or something that is indisputable, which is that your experience is your experience and it is the truth. And so even if we disagree, I respect people that take the time to formulate a well thought out argument, and that is sorely lacking if you just look at like YouTube comments. But last night my faith was restored, and that, I guess that's my bringing it all back around, is because last night you guys blew me away. I woke up this morning and just had the pleasure of pouring through all your comments and stories, and I could tell you some of them, but I don't think these people really want me to share it. And it's not my business to decide whether or not they want that to be public, so I will keep that between me and them. But I've had some really great conversations, and I wanted to take the video today to say that instead of directing it towards haters, instead of this being a video about people that can fuck off, this is a video thanking you guys from the bottom of my heart for being a gigantic, complex mirror for me to learn so many things about myself, and your willingness to open up and tell me about all your fun shit that you do in your world, challenges and relationships. I take notes, and I love that. I've always been sort of a people watcher, and so this video is for you guys. You tickled my little Hutch heart this morning and last night, and I'm so thrilled that the experience that I described about sort of coming out of your shell and this metamorphosis of hopefully becoming more who you are, because I think that's what life is about, just becoming more who you are until you die, because you will never know the complexity of you. You will never know the entirety of it, but you just try. And I love that there are fellow travelers out there, and that's what I call you. I consider myself a traveler, and I am grateful to my fellow travelers that remind me that I'm on the right path, and that a life unexamined is not a life worth living, or the unexamined life is a life not worth living. Something to that effect. It was Socrates who, while he had little boys that fondled his penis and shit like that, said some stuff that really has changed my world. The Socratic method is all about asking questions until you can irrefutably prove something. And I think I really admire the tenacity that I see in my fellow travelers that express to me and demonstrate to me the same amount, if not more, eagerness to just fuck this world in the ass before you die. It's the best way to put it. And if you guys are watching up until this point, I like doing these little experiments, and I did it with the post last night because I don't do concise well. And if you want to listen to something I have to say, it's going to take 20 minutes. And so if you're sticking around, type unicorn in the comments. And then if you have something that you'd like to say or add, or I love reading these comments, guys. So if you, and I could give a fuck about, like, what do you call it, virality, or making it go viral because you guys are commenting and then it posts notifications. It's not about that. And if I could find like a separate forum site to prove that and to keep that sacred, then I would. But honestly, I'm just too fucking lazy. So you're just gonna have to take my word for it that I do read your comments, and I like thoughtful ones. So if you've suffered through the video thus far, then I would encourage you to share a little with me, if you would, about if any of this makes sense to you. I like hearing your stories because then you might have experienced it from a different perspective and learned something else in that area that maybe I didn't learn. And that's why I like reading comments. The world is just a cinema to me, and it's just so fascinating. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. And I hope this suffices for, I hope this is sufficient for you guys and who are expecting a video kind of like So You're. But I feel like this accomplishes sort of the same thing, which is, here's a lesson that I learned, and here's what I want to convey to you. And if it resonates with you, then that makes me happy, because hopefully I've relieved someone else's burden a little. And if it doesn't resonate with you, that's totally fine, because not everybody's had my experiences, and not everybody understands what it is like to have been who I was and been through what I've been through, which none of you guys will ever know a lot of the specific details unless I get really bored and write an autobiography. But I can tell you that my entire life has been plagued with adversity. And I think I would have called it plagued with adversity at a younger age, but I think of it now as like I was blessed with not diversity, adversity. I was blessed with it, and it's always been there. I literally have always had people telling me that I'm just sort of weird or ugly or insane, and I don't feel like that at all. I feel so much more calm now than I ever have. So I must have been doing something right, and that makes me want to just say, fuck you, to everybody who ever said that to me. But the best way that I can do that is just by trying to be a good person, and hoping that whatever pain they were fucking going through, that they felt the need to throw that on me, I can hope that that has subsided for them. Holy shit, I'm off on another tangent right now. If you guys are watching this so far, and just say unicorn, and or type unicorn, and feel free to share your stories. And I got a lot of friends coming over this weekend. I think one of them staying the weekend, and then I think I'm going to San Francisco tomorrow. It's going to be a fun weekend. Whoa! I am not going to spend much time on Twitter, and if I was, I don't think my sentences will be phrased all that well or constructed all that well. So anyways, I hope you guys have a good weekend, and I hope you enjoy my ramblings. I think I'm getting better at being cohesive, but I don't know. Give me tips. If you guys want to give me constructive criticism, I'm down for that. Don't be presumptuous with it, because I do kind of know what I'm doing, and it has to be presented in such a way that's not insulting, because I just don't like being insulted. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing well, and I'm feeling a bit scattered towards the end of it, so I know it's time to stop. Bye.